I need to remind you the views expressed here are not necessarily those of the owners, management, staff, sponsors, or supporters of the station you're listening to. They happen to be my views, and, well, for the next hour, they're going to be the views of John DeCamp, who at one time was a state senator for many, many years, until, of course, he became involved in something called the Franklin Coverup, involving a pedophile network beginning in Boys Town and extending right into the White House itself. And when he exposed that, of course, the whole house of cards came down. John, thanks very much for being with us this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Well, basically, are you back working with Donna Taylor on the effort to get her son out of detention?
Well, believe it or not, I am indeed, excuse me, I am indeed doing that. And if there's a God above, I think we'll kind of finish the story and get it done. Because if anybody's entitled to get some truth out, it's this kid that received 13 gunshots, mostly around his heart, which is a miracle upon miracle upon miracles that he's even alive. He was the first one, I think, shot at Columbine and magically survived, and I ended up representing him, and some incredible things came out of that case.
Why don't you tell us about the case from your point of view, rather than my asking questions? Why don't you just tell us certainly what happened?
I'm going to summarize it in blunt, simple, straightforward terms. Mark got shot. I think he was the first one shot. As you know, a whole bunch of them were killed. I don't remember the exact number, and a whole bunch more wounded, and everybody thought he was going to die, but he just kept fighting on, and he survived. And as I was doing investigation to represent him, first of all, getting approval in the courts of Colorado there where it occurred, because I was an attorney from Nebraska, but I had been on all kinds of cases, the Oklahoma bombing and a bunch of other national cases you all know about. And this was just one that somebody got my name and called me, and I agreed to represent him, in this case, Mark Taylor. And one of the first things I discovered, talking to him and checking on things and starting to do depositions, in other words, questioning potential witnesses from the family of the shooters, you know, to the kids that were hurt, to others, and strange, bizarre things started showing up in my depositions and information I was gathering. And as a result of that, I insisted that we start looking into things even deeper, because there was some testimony I had under sworn oath, excuse me, that at least one or both of these boys had been picked up several times previously, or this or that, trying to bang a car or steal something or whatever. But then they kind of were taken care of, so to speak, in a way, by certain law enforcement people who used the boys themselves for their sexual needs and purposes. And the boys got put on these, or the Mark did for sure, got put heavily on antidepressant drugs. And one thing that came out there, because we were learning a lot about the other boys too, the ones that did the shooting as opposed to the ones who were shot, they also learned to play with the stuff. And the way they learned to use it was, you would know, you took a double dose for, let's say, a week, and then you cut it off completely, and it created the power you could do anything.